Are you ready? I said, are you ready? You are listening to Voice of the Fans Sportscast, brought to you by none other than the voices of the fans. Discussing football, basketball, news, trending topics. The one-stop shop for all things sports. Voice of the Fans Sportscast. Hosted by none other than Ben Swift Reynolds, Taylor Gatwood, 100% RC, Professor Damian Flowers, and Tyler Wright.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Voice of the Fan Sportscast. I'm your host, Ben Swift Reynolds. We have 100% RC with us, and most so known. What's up, fellas?
Nothing much.
It's
How
cold
y'all
outside
doing today?
again.
Man, again.
That's crazy.
Oh man, I don't know what's going on. This weather's so unpredictable.
They said the groundhog did it. 6 more weeks of winter.
Shit, I don't believe that.
I don't either.
Yeah, that don't pertain to Mississippi.
Yeah, because like, do Mississippi even have groundhog? I never seen a groundhog in my life. Now that I think about it.
I got them in my yard.
Oh,
A
shoot.
groundhog?
Yeah, they tear your yard up. That's not a groundhog. Them are moles. They're different. That's not the same thing, is it? Is it the same thing?
I would
I
hate
don't think
that.
so.
You walk in your backyard, you step in a hole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But man, it's been a eventful weekend. We had the All-Star.
Boring.
Had the All-Star weekend going on. We had USA beat Canada. USA. And,
yeah, that was dope.
Yeah, I didn't think that was gonna happen. Randy, he called it out on his podcast that he wouldn't be surprised if Canada lost in that series. So NHL doing something different with the Four Nations hockey tournament. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, hockey is a little bit interesting now. I'm trying to get into it.
Right. It's all about catching the games, man. I like
And
betting on it because I feel like it's easy to bet on.
Yeah, I feel like the game is a tad bit more competitive now than it's basketball.
then basketball, right. We're gonna get into that. And for the sake of Dustin, I gave him a little bit of time to get on. So instead of talking about Cam Newton, let's talk about the mock draft. We're just gonna go through the 1 through 10 and tell me what y'all think. Of course, I'm a pro football focused fan, so I chose that mock draft. And y'all tell me what y'all think about this. So I'm gonna do the top 10 teams and who they drafting. So they have 10. They have the Titans taking Travis Hunter at number 1. And then they have Browns taking the edge, Abdul Carter. At 3, they have the Giants taking Shador Sanders. 4, they have New England taking a tackle, Will Campbell. He's a beast. They have Jacksonville Jaguars taking the D lineman, Mason Graham. And then Raiders are taking Ashton Gentry at 6. Then the Jets taking Cam Ward. The Panthers taking Matt Millen from Arizona. The Saints are taking the edge, James Pierce from Tennessee. Bears taking a tackle, Kelvin Banks. I don't give you this, RC. I don't give you one. The 49ers at 11 are taking Josh Simmons. If y'all had to choose between a quarterback, Shador and Cam Ward, which one y'all taking?
Shador. I'm taking Shador. He takes care of the football. Cam Ward turns it over. Even though he was in all the games he was in this year was shootouts, but he turned it over. He put him in bad situations trying to he's more of a gunslinger. He'll take more chances. So I'll take the guy that takes care of the football.
Yeah, wasn't that game they were playing against Illinois? Yeah, I think he had a couple of turnovers in that game, and they ended up beating them and actually knocking them out of the playoff race. College football playoff race.
Syracuse.
It was Syracuse. Yeah, Syracuse. So yeah, what about you, Most? Cam Ward or Shador?
I'm taking Shador too, honestly. I just think he's more well equipped than Cam. Cam is a true gunslinger, but that comes with mistakes.
So apparently, the Jets are they trying to work on a package to get I believe it was Shador. I saw that they were trying to work on a package deal to trade all the way up to take their quarterback. Well, I think Jets could be ideal for him.
I would
Shador.
I wouldn't wish New York on either one of them, but if I had to pick one of the New York teams, it would be the Giants. They're closer. The Jets gonna go through a rebuild.
I mean, the Jets, they've been going through a
Jets have more weapons,
quarterback since the 60s.
If you look at how the Jets are constructed, yeah, they might lose pieces, but they still got the main interior. They still got the D-line intact. They still got weapons with Breece Hall and the kid from Ohio State, the receiver.
Yeah, but no, who was the last winning quarterback for the Jets? No quarterback. Quarterbacks don't go there to. Usually it'd be like old, outgoing quarterback. Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre that go to
on
the
their
Jets.
Way. Yep, you're right.
Not no. Well, maybe they did like Henry. They got Aaron Glenn stepping in. What is it? I feel like with Aaron Glenn taking over, I think it's gonna change a lot of ways of how they think about playing.
Well,
that's what I think. That
who would be part of the package? Who would they be sending away?
I don't know. They say they very aggressive to try to move up in this draft. Guys, right now they picking 7th.
Maybe Sauce
you
Gardner.
I have a question. You said they got the Raiders picking Gentry?
Alshon Jet, yeah.
Why so high all of a sudden?
They actually somebody had the Saints taking Gentry at 9.
I seen that. I seen the Cowboys possibly pick them up, and even Broncos. But at 6, I don't know about that.
I think you'll see the Niners move up. I think they're gonna swap with Jacksonville with Debo. I think you're gonna see Jacksonville's gonna give that pick, and the Niners gonna move up, and they're gonna give their pick, and they're gonna trade Debo and that 11 pick for that Jacksonville pick. I saw that. So
Debo to Jacksonville, man. Well, with that case, Trevor Lawrence, he's on the trading block. Well, they said the Steelers called to inquire about him.
Oh my God!
Which I feel about Trevor going to Pittsburgh. I feel like they're just like Kenny Pickett all over again, but he's better than Kenny Pickett. But it's like he's just a grade above Kenny Pickett. But I don't know he'll fit the Steelers system.
I think he's way better than Kenny Pickett. I think he just needs to be with an offensive-minded head coach, like Minnesota's head coach. The freaking I saw where the Rams want to get off Matthew Stafford and get younger, somewhere young where he can get around a guy that helps him and get create easy throws and scheme it up for him. Jacksonville didn't have that, so Kenny Pickett, yeah. I don't like Kenny Pickett.
Trevor to the Steelers.
That's not gonna happen.
So let's say if they do that, who would the Jacksonville take at 8? They'll be at 5.
So listen,
Matt Jones is a free agent.
The Cohen guy
will be a free agent.
The Cohen guy is the new head coach is an offensive minded guy. So he worked with Baker. So he ain't getting rid of Trevor. He gonna see what he got in that. He gonna kick that tire. But if it did happen, I would be shocked because you'll be starting over completely. But
But you know that's how I usually go with new regimes. They kind of want to bring in their own quarterbacks, their own guys. And that's how I feel like with New Orleans, we really don't know how Kellen Moore gonna do this. Do he get rid of Derek Carr? Do he spin the tires on Spencer Rattler? Do we bring in Aaron Rodgers? Like, that's why the draft, that's why a lot of people saying this draft don't have a lot of good quarterbacks in this, because they don't really see these guys as like franchise type people.
I seen Taysom Hill. If he's on the free market, Denver, San Francisco, they're gonna try to get him because he's a Swiss Army knife. But Denver for sure gonna be front runner for it.
Hey, the Denver Saints.
Right. Y'all just got a special teams coordinator.
The Riz.
Y'all got the Rizzler over there.
Quick question though. Sorry to cut you off, but about the with Trevor possibly going to Pittsburgh, I think regardless, I'm not sure if I trust Arthur Smith as the offensive coordinator. Man,
right.
get somebody who just Pittsburgh needs somebody that could pass and that could help with that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think Arthur Smith. I mean, he's been interviewing with other teams anyway, so he probably out the door. But they really need. I think they need a more offensive-minded coach than him.
Yeah, cause we already seen this experiment with Doug Pearson. If Doug Pearson couldn't really flip Trevor Lawrence, what do you think Arthur Smith gonna do in the Steelers? To be honest, they just need to get younger OC.
So are they not high on Fields?
No, I don't think so. I think Fields gonna get probably picked up somewhere else. They had Fields to the Saints.
So they just
I seen that connection.
Rebuild their QB position.
And Russell, who they definitely not bringing in Russell back. So the Steelers might be looking for a quarterback going into the new season. I mean, after that, if you Fields, would you sign back with Steelers, or what will you do in that situation?
Sign.
Or
so you would sign back with Steelers if you were Fields?
Yeah, I would. I mean, you're gonna be the quarterback there, for sure. I don't know if every team in the National Football League, it's probably a handful of them needs quarterback, and they're probably gonna draft quarterbacks. So if I'm Fields, I'm for sure gonna have a chance to play there. But I don't know where else he could go and just be the starter. Without having, I mean, you'd be the unquestioned starter in Pittsburgh. Before looking across the league, where else could he just be a true starter? I mean, the Saints, we've got to see what Kellen Moore is going to do with that, but I don't see them going out and they got two quarterbacks in house. They need to figure out what they're going to do with that. But it's kind of weird, man. Especially this time of the year, we really ain't got to the draft yet to try to see.
Right.
It's a fit. We're just throwing stuff at the wall with this one because we're gonna find out in the next couple of weeks for sure what the Saints want to do, because they're gonna have to accelerate that. Because you finna see players start getting cut and stuff like that.
I'm about to say, other than Shador and Cam, I mean, what other quarterbacks are these teams looking at? What's that kid from? Is it Miss
Jackson Dart?
Old man? Yeah, Jackson Dart.
Yeah, Jackson Dart. Then you got the Howard kid at Ohio State. He's a senior.
I've heard some team might be interested in Moreau, which I don't know why, to be honest. But
He'll probably drop down to the third or fourth. They say he had a terrible what's that game called?
Senior Bowl.
Senior Bowl. They say he had a terrible Senior Bowl.
Every game he had was terrible.
I wouldn't go that far now. I mean, he'll be a work in progress, Jalen Monroe. He'll be a work in progress.
What do they see in him though? He had a bad year.
Yeah,
bad year.
Look at the year though. When he had Saban, he was on the upwards. He was trending up. You know, all of a sudden when they switched over to the guy from Washington, who needs more of a pocket passer, when he had Penix wasn't a scrambler anymore. after them injuries.
What's the
I think
what's the thing with Cam Newton? This is new to me. What you said, you was telling me about it earlier. This is new.
I couldn't find the video. Maybe I can put it up on YouTube real quick and I can share my screen. It happened 2 weeks ago. Let me see, can I put it up on my screen? But he said that he would rather win he would rather than Super Bowl ring. Let me see, can I
That's why you ain't got
share my
none,
screen?
Cam.
All right, let me see, can I share my screen real quick? Let me pull this down. Can y'all see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
On the set right now, and Cam, I ask you, Cam, if you could give back that league MVP for a Super Bowl championship, would you do it?
No,
Oh,
Really?
really?
Why?
because you have to ask it through this lens. That was a very journalistic viewpoint or vantage point or response, Stephen A.
And that would
I'll
be
ask you this.
right here on the set right now, and Cam, I ask you, Cam,
I don't know
if
why they
you
cut
could
that
give
off.
back that.
Oh, let me find a different one.
I hate the
That's
fact
right.
that his hat takes up the whole screen.
What do you say?
I hate the fact his hat takes up the whole screen.
See, it was hard for me to find the video. They only got like cuts of it.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, he was saying he'd rather have, because of what he went through. He was the best player on the team. He did what he needed to do in the Super Bowl. His team didn't. Pretty much what he's saying. Like the whole season, he did what he needed to do to help his team win. But basically, those guys came up short. He did what he had to do.
What year he
So
won?
15, 14,
15.
15 or 14, yeah.
15.
So let me get this, because I want to make sure that, because stuff go viral. I want to make sure I'm commenting on this correctly. So he said basically that he'd rather have that MVP trophy over the Super Bowl trophy, right? That's what we're commenting on. Okay, so I take issue with that, because I think that's just, that's kind of a defensive response to not having the Super Bowl trophy. Nobody in their right mind play that game, play a team sport for individual accolades. You play that, you go through the rigors of that season, trying to get to the end of the season to win a Super Bowl. I think he's heard it so much, he probably just like, you know what, this is some pushback. But in his heart, in a closed room, when it's just him and maybe one other person, he probably said, yeah, I wish I could have won that Super Bowl. Because he do have some regret about not diving on the football. But I think since he's been on ESPN, he's been really defensive. You can see it in the clip. Look, the small amount of the clip that we saw, he basically was getting. I said it because it was a journalistic, and then you cut it off. Basically, just being an ass, pretty much. Of course, you want to win a Super Bowl, but I mean that's like asking Tom Brady, would he rather have an MVP in that season, or would he rather have that Super Bowl he lost, those 2 Super Bowls he lost to Eli Manning? He want those Super Bowls, because that's 7, that's 8, 9, on his mantle. So it just can't be in Cam. I don't think
because as an athlete, you play to win the game. I mean, that's the main objective. And when you go into every season, you want to be better. You want to get the team better. I mean, coaches prepared to make the team better. Y'all trying to win games. So it just blew my mind that he choosing an MVP, which you can get in the Super Bowl too. If you're the best player on the field, if you feel like you're the best player on the field and you win the Super Bowl, you will win a Super Bowl MVP, just like Jalen Hurts. And now look at Jalen, sky high. People putting him number 1, number 2. But as an athlete, as a competitor, to me, winning is the most important thing. Accolades is number 2, because when they talk about Super Bowls and great players, they always mention the championships too. when you watch highlights, what they always show, your championship highlights. I hardly ever see MVP highlights of a player in that season. If they do show an MVP highlight, it's always connected to that championship highlight. So that's what he just trying to soothe his ego for not jumping on the football, even though I feel like it wouldn't matter anyway. They was done, you know. But that just proves that he shows regret, and now he just not man enough to say, like, dang, you know, winning it would meant more to me than the MVP, because he's even told Jalen that he cried. You know, that he cried after the game. I think I have that clip actually of him.
Yeah, I saw that where he said he cried, and Jalen was like, "I'm with you."
I didn't cry.
Crying. Yeah,
Right. So it just I found another video. So let's hear Cam. Hopefully it don't cut short. I won't share it again. But it just I couldn't imagine being a teammate of a quarterback that's saying that, they're leading my team, to saying that he don't care about winning.
Some players don't, man.
I believe
that wouldn't sit right with me.
I think Cam full of crap on that, because that's just like saying I'd rather win the Heisman Trophy and give back the national championship he won at Auburn. I think he's just being sarcastic. I mean,
all right, so him explain it. Let me see. Hopefully, like I said, shows the whole clip.
Championships. You look at a guy like Corden. That was a very journalistic viewpoint or vantage point or response, Stephen A. I'll ask you this question, and just to pose this thought: what's more important, impact or championships? You look at a guy like Allen Iverson, or you stood up on the table and blah 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 blah. Everybody's not going to be Michael Jordan. Everybody's not going to be Patrick Mahomes. Everybody's not going to be these individuals who have the luxury of saying, "Hey, I not only dominated this sport, but I also have championships to back it." Like, let me remind you, Brad Johnson won a Super Bowl. Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl. Respectfully, Nick Foles won a Super Bowl. So, yes, when you look at those guys and you say, okay, what's more important? Would you have preferred to win a Super Bowl? I think that's the humble approach. But if we're being honest, the impact of you holding yourself accountable to say everybody has a responsibility to do. And you can say as an MVP award winner or an All-American, you've held yourself or you've held your end of the bargain down. And that's what it really comes down to.
That's crazy.
It's not the popular
bull.
I'm trying to be popularized. But my take is I'm taking individual success because I did my job. Football is not about one guy trying to do 11 jobs. Mm-hmm. It's 11 guys doing one job. And if everybody does their job best, famous words of our coach, Belichick, just do your job. Do it.
Okay, so
nah, bro.
Yeah,
you
that's
can look
bullshit.
at those guys. You can look at those guys' face, man. Steve,
you look at McCarty. McCarty like, oh no, he just going along with it because he didn't want to argue with it.
You ever been in a conversation? I'm gonna speak for myself, where I said something, and instead of walking it back, I just keep talking. And the more you talk, you're going nowhere. He sounded like a man that was going nowhere. He was trying to be an ass, and then you're on national TV, and you can't say, y'all, I was just playing. I'm being an ass. So he just kept trying to talk and make a point and sound intelligent, which he is a smart brother. But you got to know when to say, I'm playing. Because at the end of the day, you just threw all your teammates under the bus. And that's why Steve Smith is at odds with him and others, with Carolina, because this is an opportunity for him to be exposed as, being selfish. The thing that you was talking about him with Ben, you talked about how his attitude is something with his energy and how he carried himself. Well, he getting a chance to it's being exposed on national TV on first day. You can look at Stephen A's face and tell he was pissed because you didn't have to come at me like that because I just asked you a question. And then you got all defensive and brought Allen Iverson. You weren't in Allen Iverson's situation, bro. You're Cam Newton. You're in a game where you're in a situation where, yes, you didn't have Randy Moss. But the Denver Broncos didn't have a quarterback either. Most can tell you, it was your defense against my defense. Whoever forced the most turnovers, gonna win.
That's
and so,
right.
I mean, don't act like you was just, I did my job. You had 2 fumbles in that game, brother. So I mean, you didn't do your job.
Right, man. He comparing to NBA when NBA is more of an individualistic sport anyway.
Mm-hmm.
They look at individual accolades more than they do it with the football players. They look at the team, like how the team is constructed, you know. And as a quarterback, man, that's why I had issue with Cam his whole career. It was nothing about his abilities. You know, he was an amazing athlete. It was just his attitude and his being. His aura, as they say, was off-putting. I just couldn't take it. I just couldn't. So, Randy, man, we got Randy from Voice of the Fans in Canada in the chat. He said, "What in the bleeding is Cam wearing?" Stephen A. should have trashed him on that. Then he said, "It looks like he got a can of Benjamin Moore paint primer on his Abe Lincoln hat."
He's just like a Dillard's mannequin. That's how he dresses.
Right. So it just
he that dude you see on page 32 of the JC Penney.
But like we talked about before, man, they wouldn't wear this stuff broke. They wouldn't put this stuff. They wouldn't dare put this stuff on when they didn't have the money that they have now. And now they get rich, they become rich and get money, and they're making fashion statements that's only fashionable to them. Because I hadn't seen anybody copy Cam style or others.
I hope not.
He almost got that young Dro, you know, when Dro, the polo down era.
He got a young no.
You know.
He ain't got no young Dro. He got a young hell no. He ain't got that. But my thing is he's too damn big. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, when you see a guy over 6'3", I don't care what he weighs. He got a certain thing he can wear and can't wear. Like most is a tall guy. So most is probably what you about 6'2", most?
6'3".
The most 6'3". He can't wear the shorts Devo had on with the slit on the side. It's gonna be like
no,
that. It's too much legs. It's too much everything everywhere. It's like so Cam is right now in a moment where he's in his he's in his soft era, but he's in his defensive era. And when you're in your defensive era like that, you get caught with your pants down and right. I don't see him being on First Take too much longer with his attitude and the stuff he be saying. Like he act like he
kind of remind me of Sherman. He just unhinged. So he's a little bit better than Sherman, but if you say the wrong thing to him, he gonna come unhinged and he just gonna go on a rant. Same with Shador, how he went on the rant about Shador, and then Shador like, bro, I ain't about that. You know, don't be friendly now. You know, that's my thing. If I saw LeBron, I'm talking smack about LeBron on the podcast. I ain't gonna go be friendly with LeBron.
Yeah, I'm not gonna walk him down. Yeah,
you're right. You gotta stand on what you say. You know.
Yeah.
But that's Cam for you, bro.
But he made the comment last year about game changers and game managers. Well, he just put himself in a category where Michael Jordan and others wanted to win championships. They want the MVP and they want the trophy. You dig what I'm saying? So you just said you just want the trophy. Well, I mean, if you just wanted the Heisman, why did you compete so hard for the national championship? Like, it don't. It's a contradiction. Like, you was going hard for both. It's just your team fell short. I would have been like, man, listen, that's a tough question because I want both. If I can have both, but if I had to pick one, champions are remembered forever. So
that is. That's the like I'm arguing with the people on Instagram. Not really arguing, cause I love Jalen. Y'all always heard me advocate for Jalen on this show. And when they bring up the Super Bowl, they're like, well, Jalen beat Mahomes, he beat the other guys, and Allen haven't beat nobody, and Burrow, they haven't won none. I can't really say nothing because they're right. They haven't done what Jalen has done this year. So I need Allen to win Super Bowl so I can have something to argue with.
and statistically in the playoffs, that's the thing too. That's another thing Cam don't understand. Like, yeah, you won the MVP, but then you got your team to the Super Bowl. That means y'all were good enough to be there. You know, you fell short. You don't pretend like now you don't care. It don't matter. You just say, you know, because he pretty much let the cat out the bag when he said everybody's not good, and everybody's not Michael Jordan. And, you know, they can win a championship. That don't mean I didn't have impact. There it goes again.
Man, you had Luke Kuechly, Thomas Davis. Come on now.
Both the running backs.
Jonathan
Charles
Stewart,
Williams,
Greg
and
Greg Olsen.
Yeah. You had a great
Look,
offensive line.
Allen Iverson did not have those type of teammates.
No.
right.
So what Cam talking about is crazy.
He had Dikembe Mutombo at 60. You know, nobody ever really knew how old Dikembe was.
And he had McKee.
Next time you and I doing anything, look up Dikembe's actual name. It's like Dikembe the Bunda. It's like the longest ass name ever in history. And he was old at Georgetown. He lied. They say he lied about how old he was when he was at Georgetown. So Dikembe might, God rest his soul, but Dikembe might have been like Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair. He was old when he was young. You dig what I'm saying? Like, so
yeah, right.
yeah. He didn't have a young Dikembe Mutombo. So.
Well, you saying he was about 27 at Georgetown?
He probably was. He probably like 24 at Georgetown.
Look it up, Mo. I'm telling you, look it up, man.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they said his name and his age. Like it was something to be. That's why John Thompson, man, he was a guy. He can go get him.
Right. Flowers. He said Cam is giving us a full lecture on how to be selfish.
Yep. Exposed.
Yep.
Hey man, we miss you, man. We miss you. We hold it down.
We holding it down for you. So, but I saw something interesting too. On Fox Sports. Henry, I don't know his last name, McKinnon. He asked one of the Chiefs coaches. He asked the Chiefs coach before the Super Bowl on if going to the Super Bowl ever gets old, and he said it does.
Wow.
He asked who that?
I guess it was off record because there's no name on it.
About to say, I'm pretty sure he asked Andy Reid that.
How do y'all feel about that? Going to what Mahomes been in 3 Super Bowls, right?
He's been to 4.
4 Super Bowls.
He's been to 5.
No, he lost to the Patriots. He lost to the Patriots.
He's 3-2. So he won 3.
He been to 5 Super Bowls already?
Yeah, so listen,
he was 4.
He beat the Niners twice and beat the Eagles. That's 3. And he lost to the Bucks and he lost to the Eagles.
Dang, that's solidified. That creeped on us fast.
Yeah, he could have been the GOAT quick. That's why Brady, it's only right that Brady was commentating that game. Brady probably was like, man, listen, this dude good. In one night, he went from being 4-1 to 3-2.
Yeah, you're right. San Francisco, Tampa Bay, Philly, San Francisco, Philly.
So he beat Jimmy G, Jalen, Brock Purdy.
So he beat Tom Brady.
He lost to Tom Brady.
He lost to Brady.
No, he lost that one. Okay,
Jimmy G, Brock, Jalen, and
he lost to Brady and Jalen. That's it.
Jalen, yeah, that's it. Wow. So how do y'all feel about that? If you're the head coach and you hear one of your coaches say it's get old going to the Super Bowl, Most, we'll start with you. How would you feel about that?
That's what's going on. First with Cam, now with this anonymous coach, and I feel I hate it when it's always anonymous. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what's so old about it? I mean, when you win more, you literally get bonuses. Well, so you telling me you don't like the check? All right, how about just take the check away? Now you'll feel some type of way about it. Man, come on, man. That's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous. I was kind of shocked that a coach would say that, because I feel like a coach, especially if he's a position coach, you think you always be motivated.
Could have been a strength and a conditioning coach all weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think with a position coach, you always getting new guys coming in. So it'll always keep you on your toes because you got to train new people. It's not the same group of running backs or receivers. Yeah, that's why I was kind of shocked by him saying that it gets old winning Super Bowls.
Once again,
if it get old, he should remember it couldn't be a coach, because when they lost in the Super Bowl against the Buccaneers, there's no way you say it get old. They're knowing the feeling of losing that type of game and that on that big of stage. So how can you say this feeling? It couldn't be a position coach. RC, what you think?
Man, I think it's somebody. First of all, I don't think it's true. I don't know anybody who maybe he was misquoted. Maybe he was, something was taken out of context. You got to think about it. He worked that hard. It's about winning the championship. What else are you in the business for? If you're not in the business, if you're not in that business or that profession to win a championship, you might as well get out of it. I mean, it just don't make any sense. But let's say this guy he was quoted correctly, and that's how he felt. Then this is the second individual who's drinking the selfish juice. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like it just don't make sense. I mean, I don't know anybody that get tired of winning or being around winning. So maybe the road travel gets a little boring or gets a little, because I mean they have won a lot. I'm trying to make sense of it, but I don't think it's a real thing. I think he was misquoted.
He has to, because as a competitor on a high stage, who gets tired of winning? I never heard.
Maybe saying he's tired. Tired.
Right.
It's exhausting because they played a lot more games than everybody else.
Right.
But I don't buy that whole.
Hey, how about this? Let's ask Michael Jordan that same question.
You gonna get slapped? Who was that player he slapped in the back of the head when he was the owner? Who was it?
I forgot. It one of them.
Malik Monk.
Who was it? Was it Malik?
Like, you gonna get slapped in the back of your head. You time Jordan gonna get you off the team. So it's just no way you say. That's why why the guy's anonymous. Right. That's probably why it's anonymous, because he know that he probably never get an NFL job again.
And we at this time of the year where football just ended, and he just lost that person. Maybe he was, he grabbed one of those bottles of beer or wine or liquor that the Eagles had in the locker room, and turning that up, because that don't add, subtract, multiply, or divide. I ain't never heard no crap like that in my life. So
me
either. Randy said, "I'm sure going to the championship, it's not the same at first. Kind of like Jeter hooking up with his first supermodel, then a twin one is the same.
Oh, Jeter, man.
Look, man, you gotta switch it up, Jeter. You gotta find you a scientist, a doctor, a lawyer. You gotta can't be going after supermodels all the time.
Sure, he can.
So it's the Brady effect, Brady. Well, not so much Brady because his wife cheated on him, so I guess not. So, they say she's having a baby, so congrats to her and her new man.
All right, and her billions of dollars.
All right, let's move on to fast break. Dustin put me in on 8:15. He's not here, so we're gonna just go on without him. All right, where do we want to start? All right, what was the most exciting thing for y'all during the All-Star weekend? RC, what was the most exciting thing for you?
When it came to a complete end, when I was all zeros, I think it was like a circus. It was a circus. There was a lot of razzle dazzle. I mean, at this point, watching McClone, I'm not butchering his name, come up from the G League. You're good enough to come dunk for us, brother, but you're not good enough to play in our league, and that's horrible, man. 20 years from now, you look back on who won those 3 straight dunk contests. It was a guy from the G League. So it's just lame. It's all over. Yeah, it's all over the place, man. It should have an asterisk beside all 3 of those championships.
Yeah, I don't recognize his dunk contest winnings. Cause I'm old school, so it has to be an NBA All-Star. It has to be one of those guys in the dunk contest competing. It just don't feel right. It just feel like
this year, though.
He did.
Yeah,
he did.
I know. I'm not taking that from him, but like, come on, you gotta be the best of the best.
That ain't his fault though.
But you know what's crazy?
It ain't.
You know You know what's crazy though, man? I'm gonna say this before we go further. I'm disappointed because, our athletes, and I'm gonna speak right to the black athlete. We're so entitled, we're so comfortable and content that they don't identify the issue and how it's looking. Everybody wants. You remember back in the day, most, and I'm sure you remember this being where you would see the guys on the sideline that was recording the games. That was the all-star. Those the guys that was going to play in the game on Sunday, right? So everybody wants to be that guy with the camera and having the comments about what they see versus actually putting on the show. Vince Carter, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Larry Johnson, Sean Kemp, just name a few. These guys, these ain't no bottom feeders. These are the guys, and they put on a show for the guys that were on the sideline. I don't think that these guys see them. They see themselves as Michael Jordan's already and Kobe Bryant's already. You know what I'm saying? They're coming. They're showing up at these events with entourages and all this jewelry, and they're like, I'm the guy. I'm the dude, and you haven't accomplished anything. And I don't like the whole blaming LeBron for it. I think LeBron was in a high school dunk contest and did horribly. So he got one dunk. He wasn't doing all kind of crazy dunks. You got to have some type of creativity to do that. But with that being said, I think it's a lack of competitive spirit, and they don't have a hunger to be showmen, and and get out there and perform for that audience. So everybody thinks they're the guy.
Yeah, these are actually performers, right? These are athletes. They put on shows. They play the game to put on a show, to win, to have fans cheering, and they don't want to do that. It just, yeah, you're right. A lot of people take it out on LeBron because he put him in the next generation after Kobe, win the whole thing. But LeBron's not really. He's just a power dunker. He's not one of those crazy finesse type dunkers. You know what I'm saying? But it blows my mind that these guys don't want to take pride in it, wear the mantle of the best, dunker in the league. Back in the day, it was an honor for them guys to compete in the slam dunk contest. That means you was something. That means people saw the best in you. So when you got the invite, guys were jumping at it to compete, to let them know, like, yeah, I'm the best dunker and I'm coming for y'all. Like, I'm coming right down the lane. It was just their game.
I thought about this. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Mo.
I was just gonna say I thought about this years ago, like before Aaron Gordon won here. What that 2016 is 17 or whatever. When the dunk contest was pretty whack. But my thing was, why not just get actual professional dunkers? People that do that every day, have them kind of represent the team and have like a team, like a prize for it, because they actually really good. You know what I'm saying? But you want to get people from the G League who ain't in the league. I'm like, shoot, if you're gonna grab somebody like Matt off the street, I mean, there's people out there who actually dunks for a living. And to me, I felt like that idea, could have been perfect back then.
But Mo, let me ask you this. So when you watch Major League Baseball and they have the home run derby, they're using the guys within the league, right? Because this is what the issue is, brother. I think the problem I have with it, when we was growing up, we all had dreams of playing professional sports. And we wanted to get to that next level. So you get through high school, you get through college, then you make it to the actual league. When they started allowing them kids come into the league younger and younger and younger, it took away the having to work for something. It devalued it. Like the NBA has no value to it. The kids don't look at it like that's the pinnacle of my basketball career anymore. It's like, if we bring in dunkers, the best dunkers in the world off the street into the best game or the best league, then is it really the best league anymore? Is it really? Because the home run derby, they're not inviting guys off the street to come hit baseballs. I think it's lost its luster because of the lack of. It's not viewed as the thing anymore. It's kind of like, I'm gonna say this: when you have a lot of something too soon, you become ungrateful. As a kid, you want the big TV, you wanted all the video games. Now you have it, and you just like, And I feel like they got it so soon and so young, and there's no veterans to keep the game and keep those guys hunger and keep their attention, that is playing out before our eyes, man. A lack of competitive spirit. But bringing somebody off the street to dunk, yeah, we in a bad spot, bro.
Is it inspiring to? And I looked at it like this, man. I felt kind of sad when I thought about it. Watching the highlights of the dunk contest, it made me sad because I remember myself as a 10-year-old, 11-year-old that I used to take the TV guide. That's how old I am. Have a TV guide. I marked the NBA All-Star weekend. I planned my whole weekend around it as a kid to watch. Watch the agility drills and the 3-point shooting contest and the dunk contest. It was just something about seeing all the all-stars, the best of the best, come together and compete. And it motivated me, man. It made me want to go out there and be a better player because I saw the best of the best doing what they love. So it just made me sad that I look forward to as a kid watching them compete, watching, two of the best players in the league going head to head. Like it just motivated me. It got my juices flowing, knowing that I can see that and see who's gonna come on top as a competitor. So it's just crazy that I didn't watch that much of it this weekend, but as a kid back in the day,
look forward to it.
I cut my Saturday nights off. I mean, I was on that couch. I think it started around 6 p.m. somewhere around there back then, and I was just on the couch watching it all the way through.
Y'all remember?
I feel like kids don't.
Go ahead. My bad. I'm sorry.
I'm saying now I feel when I look at my sons, right? They don't give a care. I ain't watching none of that. I'm like, man, the game's on, guys. The game's on. They're like, okay.
I feel what you're saying, Ben, because I remember at one point, sorry to cut you off. I remember at one point, you said it used to start like at 6, and it'd be me and my cousin. We'll watch it to midnight, like highlight after highlight. You know what I'm saying? Then we'll play like video games afterwards.
NBA Jam or something.
Yeah, and you know what? Most also too. When you did that, it was inspiring you. You became a basketball player. Like I would have never touched a basketball if it had not, seeing Michael Jordan play. Like the NBA All-Star Game also introduced you to the teams you don't watch, players you don't watch, right? So I didn't watch the Pacers a lot. So when I saw Reggie Miller and I saw maybe Chuck Person or I saw Mark Jackson or from watching all those other
Ray
teams and other players. And then one more thing too, you look forward to watching the draft, and you would see those people crying and being emotional, like they earned it. I remember seeing Stephon Marbury crying on the set and just couldn't stop crying. Now these guys they expect to get paid. They don't. It's crazy, man. It is sad.
Big jewelry with they suits be glistening.
Yeah, now they got. What was that kid? The NBA kid that had like diamonds into his suit and everything.
Ugly
like the dude was glistening.
Ugly suit.
That dude was sparkling.
And it's scary too because that's the grassroots of the game. That's why the game is in the shape that it's in. Like, man, I say this all the time to kids. And the adults, man, never lose your hunger for something. Because once you lose your hunger for something, then people are going to be able to notice that I don't care if it's a relationship, friendship, your job, whatever. Once you lose the hunger for it, people are going to be able to notice it. And it's going to be very, 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 eye-opening because I think when they look back on it, they might not even look at their career. Like, think about it. Jello Ball perform at the halftime.
That was a
terrible.
Bad show, too.
He didn't even, he didn't earn
He
that.
didn't deserve it.
The halftime of the All-Star game, the halftime of a NFL playoff game, it's like nothing of value when we were growing up has any value now.
It's not sacred.
Nothing.
I think there's a lot of guys you could blame, but I'm going to put blame on the commissioner because, honestly, the East versus West, like, nothing was wrong with that format. No need to change. No need to have like 4 teams. I understood why they did it because they did it to see if they were being more competitive. But even them going up to 40 points, they wasn't competitive. It was a layup show, pretty much. And, I tried watching the game. Sorry to cut you off. I tried watching the game. It's commercial after
Oh
commercial
man.
after commercial after
Oh man.
commercial.
How many breaks they
DraftKings,
gonna take?
FanDuel, stuff that we can't
We
use in
seeing
Mississippi.
most. We seeing more social influencers than the players.
Man, Castanet, Drewski. I mean, them
Uh,
guys cool, but it's like 5 minutes. I kid you not.
Kevin Hart.
I kid you not. Like it was like 5 minutes of the lineup. Game starts, foul, commercial. Then it's like they back to the show. They somehow score 10+ point. Foul, timeout, commercial again. Like what's going on with this?
Mm-hmm. And these guys play in the summer league. They play in the summer league harder than they do in the All-Star game. You know, I think Barkley, some of the older guys, they've helped. Everybody's played a role in this, right? Sometimes you criticize these kids so much, you don't embrace their style of play. And then the young kids criticize the past, don't embrace that style of play. Then the NBA letting them come in at, super young and not really having a vet that when they come in, that can tutor them and keep feeding the tradition of the game, keeping them hungry. It's the total opposite of the National Football League. The National Football League is going to get even better because those guys going to stay in school because of the NIL, right? And so you're getting these guys at 23 and 24. These are grown men. They coming in and they're hungrier. You did with the NBA. It's like, man, it's out of the three major sports. It's the one sport that they don't truly deserve the money that they're making. They don't earn it. Like Joel Embiid and Paul George. Like
I disagree with that.
I seen a stat where Joel missed 400 games. Like, okay,
he's saying that because they ain't playing. He's saying that because they don't play. Like
they don't play.
It's not bad.
I agree with that.
It's not they don't deserve. I mean, like
it's the there's a fine line between the players and the marketing and what the market asks for. That's just what the market asks for.
But
I'm not gonna say that the players don't.
They just cheat the system.
But you're not there. You think you should get paid? Hold on, Mo. So you think you should get paid while not being at work?
I agree with that. But
That's
at the same time, at the same time, if you keep paying $5,000 a ticket, you know what I'm saying? It's like
that's what I'm saying. They cheating the system because the system is us. When the fans pay for those tickets, they want to see those star players, and don't start playing sending out 30-some games, then it hurting us. It's hurting us in the long run because we paying all our own money to see them play, to take our kids to see them play, and they not being able to see their stars, do what they need to do on the court.
I feel like we kind of getting off topic. I mean, so if we want to fix the All-Star game, then we have to come up with a system where they're fighting for something.
For me, if I'm playing against the best of the best, I'm bringing it. I don't need no more. I don't need no extra motivation. Like that's my drive. I want to be the best at what I do. And if I'm going against RC and he's just as good as me, I got something to prove.
That's how you know you have a problem. That's how you know you have a problem when you have a system that's been in place for umpteen years, and now you're having to come up with ways to create competition.
Right.
Like the in-season tournament, it all ties into what I'm saying with the All-Star mode. Watch. In-season tournament is to make players, it was to combat the load management. That's bad leadership from the top, because it's nothing wrong with the NBA's, the way it was structured, the way it was set up. I mean, you could go back to the old East and West. You can add incentives, but I think too, the issue is too many of the players in the league. It's not this want to kill and be killed. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't want to get after each other. Like, and then maybe that came with LeBron James and the whole teaming up with all these different players. Because if you look at it, that's the one thing people that's why people compare Anthony Edwards to Michael Jordan. He's always at you. Jimmy Butler's always at you. We need that. Okay? Because you need rivals. You need rivals, man. Like imagine Ohio State and Michigan being buddy-buddy. You don't need to redo anything. Just you need rivals. You need a competitive players that want to get after each other, man. That's all it is.
I don't disagree with that, but as somebody who's been watching these games, Adam Silver will not let them. They just won't let them.
Well, he need to go because
somebody get dunked on. He looks at the man. They get a text for that. That's just the state of that. That is just the state of the game. I don't agree with that.
Now I seen Anthony Edwards dunk on Chet, and Chet's like right in front of me, and he flexes on him, and it was no T. They let it go. I'm not saying swing on the man. I'm not even saying that. I'm saying getting after the game.
No, I understand that.
But look, get after the game. You're like, man, I really don't like the.
But that
just a guy saying that.
But that's really up to the commissioner, because that.
No, that's up to the players. You can't get in the locker room and say, man, Shai Gilgeous is the best player in our league, and he's talking like he's Michael Jordan already. He's not that much better than you.
Yeah,
you know
but at the same time, the commissioner and the ref are not letting these players just play. They ain't playing. They ain't letting these players play.
But they controlling the way they view one another. It's good for business for you to be in New York and me in Brooklyn and me saying, man, I can't. Y'all, we got the Knicks in 2 weeks, and man, I really don't like the Knicks. I want to beat them. Just that whole something. You dig what I'm saying? Like it's never that in the NBA. It's always.
It's kind of like that's the.
It's kind of like who's the rival in the league? What team you would consider rivals? And every time they play, it's like
now
you can feel
on site.
Lakers, Celtics.
Nah. Jason Tatum, he
wants to be
like he want to be a Laker sometimes.
This win.
You get what? But you get what I'm saying. When you say that we need to come up, that's how we got this format we got this year, because everybody keeps verbalizing we need to do something, but you never needed to do anything for the past. Like you never needed to do anything. They just showed up, even though there was a lot of points scored. It's like Adam Silver's talking about lowering the minutes, bringing it down to 10 minutes a quarter,
and cutting the NBA games, cutting the season of the games,
and twice as many commercials with it.
What he was talking about chopping? How many NBA games is 60?
Yep. So you telling me bigger, faster, stronger players with more technology, more. You gotta keep coming up with ideas for them to be able to want to compete at a high level. That's crazy.
That's extremely ridiculous.
So we are into this topic of Adam Silver saying the NBA is in a great place. Dustin, we talking about how the All-Star weekend, nobody's not really competing. They're not really doing anything. The dunk contest is being won by a G Leaguer. What you think of the state of the NBA right now?
I think it's going down. I think the product is not as good. And at this point, as far as All-Star, I think they should just do away with it. I mean, players don't appreciate it. It used to be a privilege. Now they take it for granted. Nobody wants to really play in it. I mean, it's called All-Star for a weekend. It's supposed to be a competition among All-Star players. It's not really All-Star weekend if, like you said, you got a G Leaguer competing in the dunk contest and winning at that. But yeah, it's going down. The product is going. I think Adam Silver is trying to put on a good face and say it's not, but it is. Even the NBA, even NBA players. I think Draymond said it may have been Draymond. Somebody said
Draymond said it.
Yeah, I got the clip. We'll listen to it later on. I got the clip of Draymond.
Did they find NBA games boring?
Mm-hmm.
So
mm-hmm.
And that's from players themselves, active players themselves. So yeah, the product is going down.
So with that being said, what did y'all think about LeBron James waiting to the last second to declare himself out of the All-Star game?
Let me start with this.
Yeah,
let me start with this real quick. That is the most selfish thing I have. I don't think any other player has ever done this before. Ever done this? You get selected for the All-Star game. all of a sudden your ankle hurt. Yeah, so that means your ankle been hurting you this
Yep.
whole time. So why not give that spot to another player? Selfish. That's the main topic we've been talking about all day. Just selfishness.
Mm-hmm. All of his time together. You're right.
Wouldn't that him sitting out or declaring himself out? What's that? A couple weeks ago, would that ruin his streak of being an all-star? Okay, that makes sense. RC, what's your thoughts?
I really feel like, to me, with the All-Star game being in the state that it is, yeah, I wouldn't bother by it because nobody gives a damn about the All-Star game anyway. But I understand what Moses is saying. But it's kind of like, maybe 10 years ago and he'd have did that. That's why I believe he did it, because he knows the state of the All-Star game. He can get away with it, but he couldn't have did this 10 years ago. It's wrong. It's selfish. They say that he knew he didn't, I think Wednesday he was going to play and then he, decided he wasn't going to play. But it's a lot of individualism. It is crazy. Most of we talking about all these different stuff and it keeps coming back to selfishness. And this was selfish. And you can tell he's adding to the whole, building his legacy. It has nothing to do with anybody else. So yeah, it was selfish. I didn't agree with it, but I ain't take it. I'm not bothered by it because, like I said, the game sucks. So,
well, a lot of people are bothered by it because he took a spot from another potential all-star. So, and then like you said, it saved his hide for ruining up his streak of always being an all-star. Dustin, your thoughts on LeBron, bro?
You're on mute, brother.
You're on mute. Yeah.
I thought it was very LeBron and Rich Paul like. I expected nothing less. I expected nothing less. I thought that he could have had at least. I can understand not wanting to break your streak, but I mean, at least have a little integrity about it, and at least like go out there for like 5 minutes and mess around and then sit out. I think somebody did that one year. But yeah, have a little integrity. But at this point,
that's LeBron.
You making a mockery of the league.
Mm-hmm.
I got a question for everybody. What is hockey doing better than what the NBA, lacks on? I don't know if
fights,
anybody.
the better.
I don't know if anybody watched. USA.
I watched a little bit of hockey. What make it? I don't know. It's just they compete hard. I mean, it's nowhere else to put it. When I watch the hockey game,
hold on. You know what I saw even before the game when the national anthem is being sung and the Canadians was booing.
Boo that man.
and I'm like, I
want
love
smoke.
This.
I want
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's the competition.
As soon as the game starts, everybody throwing hands. That is
9 seconds into the game.
I feel like that's what the NBA need. Not full-fledged fighting, but just NBA needs a player that's heel. I hate to throw wrestling terms in that. You need a heel, a villain. Man, I don't like this dude. I don't want to share my jersey with this dude. Forget that team. But I don't know. That's just the state of the game nowadays.
They tried it with Brooks. They tried it with Draymond. But you know what? This is my opportunity to say to people who bash the era of basketball I watch, this is good for y'all because this is what you wanted. You bigger, faster, stronger. Your era, this era. Listen, man, hoopers can hoop in any. I believe that Steph Curry can play in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? If Mitch Richmond can play in the 80s, if Muggsy Bogues can play in the 80s and 90s, Steph Curry can play in the 80s and 90s. I believe hoopers can hoop. I don't believe in this era stuff. But I do feel like every year it got worse because what we did was we started accepting what we weren't. We weren't. Our style of sports, whether it's football, hockey, baseball, it had a necessary evil. It did. You had a necessary evil. What I mean by that, Pittsburgh versus the Ravens, the Niners, Seahawks, the Saints, the Panthers, or Falcons. You know, you have those rivals, and then you get to baseball, you have Dodgers, Giants, you have Yankees, Red Sox. NBA. You know, when you get to basketball now, what's the marquee matchup? You don't have it because everybody likes everybody. And then you have the fake villain, the Dylan Brooks kid, where, you know, it's kind of like looking at Chris Brown when he first came into the music industry and looking at Chris Brown now. He's like, who are you really? You know, you paid for that villain image, or you just say, you know what, I'll step out on the limb and become this tough guy. But you're exactly right, man. The NBA needs a necessary evil. They need two teams to every time they play. We don't need an actual fight, but if it happens, so be it. But man, it's a league that lacks passion.
Also, let the players play, because honestly, I feel like the games are just too long because the refs keep blowing the damn whistle.
I agree.
The games be too damn long. Just let the players play it out, man.
Well, I think they need a rule change, and then they need a change in culture, because I mean, hockey, the culture in hockey and international soccer is completely different. They compete. I mean, I don't know how much soccer you guys watch, but I mean, those guys compete hard. Even the women, like,
man, women's soccer be insane.
Like it doesn't matter whether it's a championship game or it's play. It doesn't matter. Like, they go out there and compete hard, and like, if they don't, that fan base is going to let them know, like it's not a joke.
Well,
so I think it needs to be a change in culture too. And I mean, even with, you know, I agree with what RC said. I believe Hooper's just gonna hoop. Like, I don't think the errors necessarily matter as much, but I mean, even back in the 90s and 80s, like your team was your team, and like, you didn't mess with the other team, and it was to me, it was just a different culture than what it is now. And I think a lot of it is the players' fault, because it's way too friendly now.
Everybody want to be a social media influencer. That's what
and
it is.
But
that's the NBA. They want to get away with that. That's how they just want to market themselves. I don't agree with that.
But you know what the problem is? Everybody almost played with everybody. Like, if you really think about it, James Harden damn near done played with everybody. KD done damn near played with everybody. LeBron damn near played with everybody. You know, everybody's pretty much, there is no staying in one place for a long period of time and really getting after it, man. I feel like, to me, those guys were made fun of for staying in certain territories and want to be on. Well, you just stay on that team for so long, you don't win a championship, then you consider you're sorry, or you're not going to be a legend. I mean, Patrick Ewing is a great player. I say this: I can go in this era and go in that era and find guys who didn't win championships and say they were just as good as the guys that won championships. You know what I'm saying? Outside of Michael Jordan, I could find a player. I could find a Kevin Durant who won a championship and go and look back then and see Charles Barkley and say he was just as good. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like these guys really want to beat one another. Like, that's why LeBron can play 4 more years, because he knows this. I don't fear anybody. That's why he made the comment 2 or 3 years ago that Bronny was better than players that's in the NBA right now. You know, even though he was out of his damn mind, I know where he's getting it from.
AAU ball has ruined a lot of stuff, because these guys grew up together and played ball together, so they knew each other before they can get into the NBA. And I think,
and honestly, the coaching, I don't agree with horrible. The coaching. It just is game after game after game. Where are the practices?
Well,
it's so many great players. Great. It's so many. Yeah, I say great. The Julian, what's his name? Julian Newman. It's just it's a lot of players that go through the AAU process, and they were great in middle school, high school, AAU, but that game doesn't transcend to college or even the league. And
But
I criticize the coaching. It's too many games being played.
that's why I said they want to be social media influencers. That's how they become stars before even making it to the league. Look at Mickey. He started doing all this social media stuff. Then he got one up it each time he posts. Then they know he caught shooting at a vehicle that's in his driveway. Like it's just these guys. They want to be social media influencer stars more than they want to be a player. It just is all about content now. Like when they show their one-on-one games or when they show their dribbling package, it's all about views and likes, and that's why people have a problem with NIL deals, because it kind of put the kids in a certain predicament of with social media online and stuff like that. But it's
I always say, man,
crazy.
when a phone comes out, I don't care if it's a personal trainer session, soccer, whatever. When you see a phone or a camera and you're recording a session, no work is actually being done. Even the person that's doing the drill knows that camera's on,
Mm-hmm.
so they're performing. You dig what I'm saying? Like I feel like that's. I remember the year that Russ came to the Lakers. He was posting every freaking video showing how he was gonna be ready, and he was holding his follow through and got to the game. He could hit the. He was sucking it up.
Hey fellas, case in point, Ben Simmons making threes.
You feel?
Yeah, he put a whole video out of him making threes.
Hey, Ben Simmons,
they're like, uh-oh.
Ben Simmons' name was somewhere legendary.
Yes,
right.
That
video was legendary. He was making threes. And they were showing him the open run courts. Remember, he was doing the open run in that gym that nobody ever misses in, and doing killing.
So that's my point. And when you see that, and to the point, I've been around AAU for 20 years. AAU is not the sole fault of this. It's when they start allowing guys to come in. You know, I want to have the Dustin Ballers, the Ben rim runners. You know, the most unknowns. You know, everybody want their name on the front of a team, but you used to have to earn that spot too, most where you had to be the selected. You was to be on the AAU team. That was the best in the state playing AAU. Now everybody's playing AAU, and so that's what you're right. AAU, you got that problem. Then you get to college, they're not staying long enough to really establish themselves to be the dog, and and then you go to the NBA, no establishing themselves.
Yeah, because
same thing.
Not criticizing any of the foreign players, but I just find it interesting where you have somebody like Jokic who comes into the league and can just pretty much average a triple-double if he wants to. And he pretty much now doing that. You know what I'm saying? He didn't go through the AAU process. You know, you would assume that our players they've been playing since 6 years old and they're ready, but they're not fundamentally.
Yep. They don't care if somebody dropped 30 on their head. They don't care. It's just another game to them. They don't take pride in it.
When we lost collectively on this panel, when we lost, we cried. They lose, they laughing. Man.
What's up, man? Hey, what's up, man? Let's go and sign my jersey real quick. Hey, we'll take a picture. We want to meet up after the game.
What's gonna happen is the owners, the next it's gonna be another lockout. And this was probably gonna be it may be the worst one in NBA history. If the owners, they're not going for this. Like they are not going for it at all because it's ruining the league. They wasting money. Yeah, it's because because especially like with the Clippers and the Kawhi situation where he take all this money and him played. I don't think he's played like even a 3/4 of a full season with the Clippers yet. And then you got like Zion who can't stop putting food in his mouth and messing with porn stars.
Big chunkies.
The owners, they're gonna have a lot of stipulations.
If you're the players, I just wonder what are you going to say? You know, because you got to have a meeting, and you got to renegotiate.
Fairly, we ain't being treated fairly.
Let the bargaining agreement what exactly are you going to tell the owner? I need more money. Why?
For what?
But think
For
about
what?
this though, guys. Anytime there is no struggle or there is no like something to work for, this is the result of it. Dustin been, in schools, working to graduate, working to get to the next level. When he gets his, gets his degree, he earned it. He gonna feel accomplished in that field, right? So most like when you was taking your exam to be able to get your job, you was working for that, and when you got it, now you feel accomplished. What are they really working for? They're giving everything. You get what I'm saying? Like
I kind of blame the league for that. I watched the video. Well, it was more dealing with the nepotism of basketball, but a lot of these players they don't come from the struggle exactly. I mean, which is fine, but a lot of these players, like, how can I put it? They always had the resources.
yeah.
They always had the resources. Where somebody like Jokic, you in the middle of nowhere with horses and snow, you just have to get how you live in that type of situation. But a lot of these players, man, like we've been talking about, they play with each other. They always had the resources. They never had to worry about, shoes or, making it to practice on any type of situation like that. They, really they've been handed to that, which I got no problem with it, but let's be honest, the league don't look for players that just like, oh, this person came from the bottom. You barely hear them stories now.
Well,
If we're being
I think
honest.
that's why Ant and Jimmy Butler carried himself the way he do. Even though Jimmy Butler was adopted to a family, but you still feel some way when you adopt.
Yeah, but now
child.
Jimmy K, he's turned into the player that he absolutely despises.
Yes, amen.
That money got to him.
That's a good one. But you know what, man? I heard Gilbert Arenas say this about his kid. The kid had an opportunity to go play high school ball with better teammates. He said, "No, I want my kid to stay right here and face being tripled and double teamed so he can get better." Well, I had the same scenario with mine. She wanted to move to a school that was better with better players, but she actually became a better player by staying where she's at and going through the rigors to get better. Like, man, I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. That's the problem. If all four of us are on a team with a fifth player and all five of us are really good, it's kind of like, and we never get challenged. We go like 32-0. What did we accomplish, individually in our games? Like, so it's kind of like with LeBron James. LeBron James was smart enough to get other all-stars who were averaging double figures, or sometimes double doubles, to come to his team and devalue themselves while he stayed who he is. He did. That's the problem. That's the problem with the NBA.
I'm about to say, people don't realize the major step back Chris Bosh had to take.
Yeah,
this man was arguably an all-star before he even went to the Heat.
Yep.
Well, Hall of Famer, but man, Brian, man.
So the creation of super teams led to this downfall of play.
So when you put the Miami Heat players, that team together, you put three all-stars, future Hall of Famers on one team, but then you also the players around him, like Ray Allen, which he went on that original team when he finally gets there. But the guys you put around him were really good players as well. So it was extremely hard to beat that team, right? But when you kept them apart, you saw LeBron trying to get past the Celtics. You saw Chris Bosh trying to detour. And that's why Carmelo didn't go there, because he wanted to continue. Outside of taking his money, he also wanted to beat them. And so that's the thing that I admire about Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan and LeBron in Cleveland the first go-round. It is LeBron in Cleveland against that Piston team that was really tough defensively, and he gets by them and gets to the final. It just means more than to have, if I like Ray Allen save his ass in the finals against the Spurs, because Ray Allen is catching the ball and shooting the ball, and Ray Allen don't miss.
But now there's at least two to a team all-stars. Like, It just now it's 2 to create
You know,
that.
but
I
you know
love
what?
it. I love it when it don't work, just like on 76ers.
And the Suns, and the Suns, and the
Right,
Suns.
and the Suns, yep, and the
You
Suns.
know, I got this. This may be a controversial opinion, but I think the Heat super team was kind of just didn't really work out. I mean, you only won 2 rings. You talking
They
about
got
Boss
overconfident.
Wade and Bron?
They got overconfident. They got complacent.
You
Cause that's what happens when you're the best.
Like
You
Bron's
get
supposed to
complacent.
have like
7
rings.
6 or 7.
6,
Yep.
7 rings. So I didn't understood why after that, because I think after the Heat thing, then the Nets, you know, who was it? KG and some other old ass players.
Joe Johnson, yeah.
Old Joe.
Yeah, and they tried to copy and paste, right?
Every team try to copy that system. Man, I'm like, you know what? They only won 2 rings out of this. I wonder if anybody thought about that.
It's the thing, Most. They won 2 rings. They should have won 3, but you had LeBron in his prime. You had Chris Bosh in his prime. You had D Wade in his prime. Like they were in their prime. That's why it worked, and it hurt the league because they were in their prime. We would have rather seen them compete against each other, you know, with another piece. I believe in having 2 players. I believe that, you know, if you really look at the way it was constructed, like the league was in a bad place too because Kobe was on his down years. The Eastern Conference wasn't really that great, so it was like seeing the Mavericks beat the Heat is that team, and that's how you want your league. You want the villain Heat, and you want the Cinderella story, you know, and you want them to play, and then the Cinderella wins, and it's just good television. Now you can kind of predict who's going to win and lose. You can kind of it's easy picking basketball. It's easy picking basketball games to me.
Yep. So I got this one clip to show you. It's from Draymond talking about the All-Star game with the Rising Stars and the OGs and all the other teams.
Goes, I'm coaching some team, and she's right. Some team that no one wants to see.
Oh, man.
I had to work so hard to play on Sunday night of All-Star Weekend. And because ratings are down, because the game's bad, we're bringing in Rising Stars. That's not a fix. I never played in the Rising Stars game. My first 2 years, I didn't touch that game. And these guys get to touch the All-Star floor on Sunday night? Like when the floor is the floor? You know, in America, the president has Air Force One, right?
Yeah.
They have several of those planes. It's only Air Force One if the president's on it. That's the All-Star floor. You have the court, you have the events. It's a nice looking court. When the All-Stars are on the court, now it's the All-Star court. Those guys did not make the All-Star team. To be playing in the All-Star game and you did not make the All-Star team is absurd.
Do other NBA players have that? Like, are the OG teams they're facing, are they going to come out and go, let's end this right now? Because that passion, if that's on the court, that's beautiful.
But they're supposed to do that. I don't think you necessarily get excited and be like, oh, we're excited. We got to beat these dudes. They should beat them in their sleep anyway. But I just think it's they're doing this to pump All-Star up. I think that's dumbing it down even more. You put some rising stars out there, first, second-year guys that's nowhere near All-Star level, by the way. And they're going to play against All-Stars.
I'll just say they're just seeing this right.
All right.
I agree.
So
I agree.
So with that format that we saw this past weekend, a lot of people been suggesting how about do what the rival league did, the women's, and do one-on-one tournaments instead. What y'all think about that idea?
No, you're doing too much at this point. No. That is
you just start. It's like adding cheese. Cheese is
players are not going to accept that because it's like, damn, this dude beat me real bad. You know what I'm saying? It's an ego thing with them, so they're not going to accept that.
I mean, that's why LeBron don't play one-on-one against nobody.
Exactly, Brian.
Yeah, that's why. No. Like they're not.
Is that much to lose? That's so much pride and manhood to lose to play 1-on-1 against your peers.
They don't want to get it back.
You're supposed to be the best of the best.
That's
we saw we did see Stewie get upset on the Rivals when she got beat. I think it was a rookie.
But those
like
women,
years, though.
no disrespect to those women, they need that. The men game don't need that. Listen, if I told you Cam Reddish would cook Braun 9 out of 10 times in 1-on-1, you wouldn't believe it, would you? But there's a video circulating around where Cam Reddish is cooking every Laker on the roster, and he ain't on their roster no more. So my thing is, you don't want the NBA players. See, that's another problem too, is you don't have the guy that says, "Hey, I'll take that challenge," and be. I don't think, LeBron will be out the league. He will get embarrassed. Not just LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and others. Now you got to guard Durant, which you probably would never get the ball in 1-on-1 against Durant because he's probably going to score every time.
Do anybody remember years ago, Bron had got dunked on, but the footage was all grainy, like you really couldn't. Yeah, it was at one of his camps. He got dunked on, but it's like,
oh, really?
Yeah. It was like on ESPN and everything. And it's like people really didn't. It's like they didn't really want to show that.
Well, he felt some type of way when Tatum dunked on him, and that young Tatum video. He felt some type of way when that happened.
He got that video of that high school kid dunking on him, taken down from that Nike camp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
I mean, but there's footage out there of Michael Jordan getting cooked in his camp and Chris Paul getting cooked. I think my problem with LeBron James when it pertains to this is those guys at the top that you say are the best in the world all time, which I think the GOAT conversation is trash and meaningless, pointless, because Kobe Bryant 1-on-1, you ain't stopping that. Michael Jordan, you're not stopping that. You're not stopping Tracy McGrady 1-on-1. You're not. You might with Allen Iverson. You can stop LeBron James 1-on-1. All you got to do is make him shoot. Now, this version of LeBron James I like better because he shoots well. But if you just say take prime LeBron, you do what the Spurs did in that finals. You back up and let him shoot as many jump shots he want to shoot. I mean, and that's how simple it is to guard him. Not for me to guard him, but as an NBA player, probably 6'4", 6'5". That's how you guard him. But man, the NBA don't need to add nothing. Quit trying to do all. It's like bringing kickball. Like the NFL's in trouble too in their game with their Pro Bowl and craziness.
Pro Bowl?
Man, like
the Pro Bowl.
That's a damn. I don't know. I go to sleep during that.
But what is up with the American born, American born player, and just not giving a damn about. Having no pride about stuff like this, man. They have no pride.
I don't know. Man.
I think the game.
Maybe it's extra estrogen in their system. I don't know.
Nah, it ain't that. It ain't that. It's just that, honestly, because you see it at jobs too. It's like, you getting paid so much money that it's like you ain't gonna really do the extra stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I can't compare it being an athlete as a regular job though, because
no, it's not.
It's not regular.
In a way,
it's something about.
I say in a way you can, because it's like why risk this if why I gotta do this? You know what I'm saying? Because
I'm just a competitor.
If my annual salary was $1.5 million, and I'm working for a company, I'm gonna walk in that job. You could ask me to climb the wall. I'm gonna climb that something backwards. 1.5 million. That's life-changing money in a company. But in the NBA, bro, you play basketball. If somebody would have paid you $250,000 to play, you played with passion anyway. You would play with even more passion. You would be just overcome with joy. This is all I gotta do is play basketball for $50 million. This is all I gotta do. That's it. I think football players have a better gripe because their body is in harm's way every play.
Mm-hmm.
Basketball, right. Bro, listen, bro, you talking about $200 million and probably like $100 million of it guaranteed, and you don't want to play basketball? Dude.
As they say, someone just in for the money. They don't really love the game of basketball. They just really good at it. And like, hey, I guess I can make a living.
But at the same time, y'all don't want to get.
I'm with Dustin.
Y'all don't want to give them something to play for. I would try to give them something to play for.
I don't get it. You getting $1 million, you got plenty to play for.
You don't have to get it, but that just
but blink your eye, think about this most. All they can be gone. That's
look, they play hard. For. They play hard during the in-season tournament.
But most, listen, as we just talked about as kids, our goal was to play professional sports.
I get that, but this is not the players of yesteryear. This is just I'm focusing.
And that's
on
why they asked.
That's why they where they at.
Well, that's why we in this predicament. Then why not give them an incentive to a reason?
They get plenty. They got $200 million in sins.
They're the next
and
bargaining agreement. They're gonna give them a reason.
I tell you,
baseball player.
This type of money they getting to sit on the sideline and enjoy.
Keep this shit up.
Look at baseball player contracts.
They not.
They play a ton of games, but you don't see their ratings. Was baseball. A lot of people just either like it or they don't. But baseball players, they gonna go out there and compete.
If David Stern was still the commissioner, this would not be the case.
Hey, Dustin,
not be the case.
Keep that shit up, Dustin, and they gonna pick 5. They gonna get a pick 5 and $1,000. I mean, because you gotta understand what you're doing now. What you're doing now is you're dealing with rich white owners, and like he's saying, they're not finna they'll put a screwing on you, but you ain't finna keep putting a screwing on them. And to your point you made about Dallas, which I'm starting to see where you're going with it, they're in the business of making money, and they'll move teams around. It's big business, man. The athlete, the employee is not finna run. You can't keep doing this now. Well, listen,
I'm glad you started.
They Jerry Jones out here.
That's why
they can't let the inmates run the asylum. Jerry Jones out here now. So I don't know how long they can keep this up.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't know what the players are going to issue for their new contract as far as what they want. I mean,
but listen. I saw where the WWE. I'm talking about just making crazy money off of predetermined outcomes. But we do know in that actual world, them guys are competing to entertain an audience that pretty much know what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? The promos and all that, and the interaction, they laying their bodies on the line. It's straight passion every night. It's no days off. You know how they work. You know their work schedule. That is wrestling, brother. This is the NBA. You cutting games. You cutting time back. Like, you don't think Jey Uso would play basketball for $250,000? His schedule is strenuous. And he had to come down there dancing and knowing that I'm going to jump off this top rope and possibly if I land wrong, it's over. You dig? And I watched these guys, like he said about Kawhi, it's to the point where now Kawhi is probably, I got a top 5 habitual line stepper, money stealers. I'm talking about straight robbery. He's number 1. He's number
not
1.
being
a master. He's a mastermind of that.
It's cool. I don't think I think it's Kawhi Leonard, John Wall, Bradley Beal. They're my top 3.
John Wall, that's unfair.
John Wall
was just hurt. He always competed,
but he was off 2 years, and that's because of bad contract. But he was off 2 years. You go look at the amount of money he made for doing nothing.
I mean,
you can't
injury,
man.
That was never a question.
That almost sound like Matt Flynn contract.
John never had a question with his competitiveness.
No, but my point is,
he was just hurt, and that's different.
I get it, but you got to they're going to structure these contracts where they can get out of them. Because, dude, I just paid you $240 million in 2-year span, and you didn't do. Where you get that kind of money for doing nothing, man? Come on, man.
Let me do nothing. That's what I need, bro.
I'm talking about $200 million most. Like Paul George is in that category too. He should be like them. I'm gonna move John Wall down.
But
Paul George.
My issue is y'all think this is going to just change next year. Like that's why I'm like, if y'all don't give them something to play for, that this is not going to change. The product is
something y'all have to shake because viewership.
Hold on. What you mean by that?
you can't
something gonna
give
shake
them,
with the owners. What you saying with the lockout? Something gonna shake
what you
because
wanna give them, like $500
Adam,
million more dollars. Like it's
right.
not the
And Adam Silver,
more they give them, and the more
they're
Adam
not
Silver.
going to stop the All-Star game though. It ain't just the players that
it's not
get
about
money.
that too. It's about them playing. Okay, if you Draymond is sent on national TV saying the game is boring, a pro player. You can't have a pro player sent on national TV talking about the game is boring. What do you think the fans gonna think? Well, I ain't watching that crap.
Hey, Mose, that's like your lady on a podcast saying, you know, most sex is horrible. You're like, wait a minute.
No, it ain't, baby.
Right. Right. You gonna feel like, hold on, I gotta change something.
Minute.
Oh,
you know, there's just some things you don't say publicly.
I agree, but what Draymond did was out of pocket, in my opinion, because he didn't really have to say all of that. But at the same time, he wasn't lying.
No, he wasn't.
That's a problem.
But it's just
he was Randy.
But at the same time, though, it's I don't know. I really can't.
It's not going to end well for them if they continue to put up these type of performances and sitting out games. It's not going to end well for them.
So why do you think LeBron James and Matt Carter was looking into that other league? Okay, if LeBron is very smart, because at some point he's going to be out of it. He won't get the backlash of it. He'll be gone. But those other guys, they're going to catch hell. Like you made me realize this, Most. The Dallas Mavericks did not want to pay Luka Doncic that $354 million because of his work ethic. You're not willing to invest in a player. You're willing to get rid of a player at 25. That tell you all you need to know about the state of the NBA right now. Because, hey, man, listen, supposedly those come a dime a dozen. And listen, he do look 270 in a Laker uniform versus in his street clothes. I don't know if he gains weight when he put the uniform on. And when I watch him play, I see why
he is a big stocky. But he been hurt. But in all fairness, he's been hurt. You know,
but most, you know why he's been hurt most? The
conditioning part. I mean, he been hurt.
Conditioning. They drink beers and back in the 90s and 80s, they did the same thing. But them guys work hard too. But them guys were muscular lean in those eras.
Yeah.
Like you can tell them guys worked out.
They balanced it out with a little cocaine too.
Yeah,
but listen.
Cocaine
when you're young, I've never seen a player look like Luka at 25 and play that slow and be that efficient. But then it hurts you on the defensive end. You can walk, you can go right by him. He can't move. So, but it's like, man, it's too much of that. Even Embiid, too big. Embiid just too big. He got hurt in a warm up. He sprained his ankle. I saw the video where he just took the wrong step and fell over and he sprained his ankle. I'm like, dude.
AD.
Down he goes. Down go Frazier. That's crazy. But hopefully the NBA figure out something. I know Adam Silver, he trying to say all the right things, talking about the game's in a good place, but behind doors, I bet he kind of sweating bullets because they know they're
don't add it.
Hold on. I would disagree with that. I mean, you gotta understand these teams make their money off these TV deals. They don't mind losing money.
TV deals. I mean, the TV deals are there, but they're not really getting any return from them. I'm talking about viewership wise. Nobody really watching that stuff.
You don't need the viewers. You don't need the owners.
They pumping something. They pumping something from somewhere.
Not one owner. That they only business is not just the NBA. They have multi businesses.
Yeah.
I get that, but
in my opinion, that's the issue I was trying to come across. Like with the Mavs owner, I'm like. You trade Luka because you got 30 plus billion in your pocket. You didn't want to pay him that $300 million because of conditioning or whatnot. But I like, you know what? You could financially take that loss to viewership because you at the end of the day you still making money. Look, Jerry Jones ain't won a Super Bowl since how long? And he's still making money.
28 years.
Still make Cowboys is
most
one of the
most profitable team in sports.
Exactly.
Well, I think NFL fans are a little bit more
Passionate.
passionate.
Listen, you're right, but I think they have teams that balance that out. The NBA don't have. You have the rivals in the NFL. You can feel the intensity when the Cowboys and the Eagles play. Dak came out and said, right after the Super Bowl, Dak said, that team that just won the Super Bowl, we always beat them when we see them. What? But it was great. It was great that he said it. I'm like, but he said
the Eagles and Chiefs
lying through his teeth.
When the Eagles were talking about the Chiefs talking about they're wearing the t-shirts when the Chiefs won Super Bowl, they had 0 sacks t-shirts on. The Eagles players remember that, so they went after the guy. So it was a rivalry there.
But most
off the back,
even though he said that, if you're gonna look at it, the Cowboys do beat the Eagles when they see them. They're gonna split or they're gonna sweep them. So it's like he got a point. That's what the NFL needs. The Super Bowl just ended, and Dak is like, we ain't worried about them. That ain't nobody we worried about. Like NBA, it's like you'll see them in the hallway hugging each other. Like,
let me hold the trophy. Let me share Cussy on the trophy. Right.
Hey, you just lost, man. Go somewhere and cry. At least pretend like you're crying.
You gotta walk off the court right, shaking hands. That's how mad you gotta be. But man, it's been a good topic, man. Hopefully, since the All-Star break, I usually watch the NBA after the All-Star break, so I'm start picking up there. I think the next game is like on the 19th.
College basketball is going to save the NBA. College basketball. Cooper Flag is going to go back to school.
Yeah, that boy nasty.
Go back to school, Cooper.
Definitely nasty. All right, so I found this old clip. I don't know if y'all ever saw this before, but it's Kobe and a whole bunch of other stars when they were young in a dunk contest. I don't know if y'all ever seen this before. I never seen it before.
That's why I say
watching that the NBA has an identity crisis.
Made me happy. That made my heart feel happy right there watching it.
I'm gonna tell you something. You just educated a lot of people that didn't know that Ray Allen could dunk.
Jesus Shuttlesworth, man.
Bro, I always say, man,
they better watch Ray Allen and UConn.
But I say this, Dustin. I feel like the great ones have two different eras, two different personalities. You have Wizards Mike and you have Mike with Chicago Bulls. Both of them are bad. You had Kobe 8 and Kobe 24. You have Ray the shooter, Ray the dunker. You have even down to your guy, Blake Griffin. You had solely just a dunker, then he evolved to an all-around player. Like, that's what made them players better than these players today. As they start to age, they could have 2 Hall of Fame careers by 2 different eras of, the styles that they played. They evolved, man. It was just, even Vince Carter evolving from a dunker to a 3-point shooter. He's like ranked really high in 3-point shooting. So, yeah, man, that gave me chill bumps, man, seeing Kobe.
Yeah, man. I enjoyed it. I'm gonna have to post it online. Like I stumbled on it in the group. I was like, dang, I can't believe this thing don't have more views than this.
Marbury dunking.
Stuff on Marbury.
Hey, I told my Achilles in a pair of Marburys, man. That's
what?
Yeah, man. She bought
You
me
know
some
what?
that
Marburys.
bad now.
You know
Bro,
what shoes I really wanted as a kid? Those
Mhm.
free wells. I
Hey,
wanted those.
most.
You wanted the Dotters?
Yes, I wanted the spree wheel so
Hell
bad.
no.
I wanted to see. I want
With
to
the
see that
wood
wheel,
grain?
that spree wheel turn. I want to see that wheel turn.
Hey,
You shoot
hey, Most.
nasty.
Most, my sister, she was in Green Bay at the time, and she bought me some Stephon Marbury's, and I was into hooping at the time, so I wanted to try them out. And man, I took one step, and I heard. I'm like, hey, I told the guy that was taking the ball, I'm like, you kicked me in the back of my heel, man. He's like, I'm way back here. If I kicked you from back here, I'm Stretch Armstrong. and I looked at the back of my ankle, man, and it was like this big knot, man. And it was just, but when I was playing in the shoes, I could feel that it was like I was just like my feet was hitting the floor. You know what I did?
Some old Converses.
When I was in the hospital, when they took me to the hospital, I left the shoes in the trash right there. I ain't seen them since.
I thought Stephon Marbury got his shoes made in China somewhere.
Bro, they were
Nike?
AN1s with AN1. It was all black. Look them up. They trash, but you know,
man, you better all just playing in some shacks.
It was a present. It was, I was a hooper at the time, and she was looking out for me like she always do. But man, look,
I didn't.
Sheetrock
I have to
kickers.
Google his shoe. I don't remember his shoe. I gonna have to Google that.
What you Google? They sheetrock kickers. LeBron got a pair of sheetrock kickers. They big.
Yeah,
big,
I hate
wide.
LeBron shoes.
They so bulky.
They heavy. Like, why his shoe that heavy?
Man, they
That shoe
killers.
like 18 pounds, man. That's just crazy. Yeah.
You know,
Like when I worked
at
at Hibbett's. No, RC, you ain't lying though. When I worked at Hibbett's and we had put the shoes on shelves, man, it take a whole space up like this big because the boxes was so big. I'm like, man,
big wide foot.
Try carrying a box of LeBron shoes up a ladder to put a stock on. Okay, that's a workout right there. I was like, man, these shoes are too big, man. So, all right, guys, thank y'all for tuning in. The show. We'll be back Wednesday with a special episode. Tracy Bunn, she'll be coming on to talk about youth sports. She's a personal trainer and social media rep. Her kids play baseball, and I think the other one's in gymnastics. So tune in for that. We're gonna break down youth sports, especially AAU. Well, not AAU, travel baseball. NIL deals. How do you talk to a child through a big loss or at them losing the game? It's gonna be very informative, and especially as parents. I know RC is a coach. I used to be a coach. So I don't know about you, Most. I don't know what you coach, but
I used to coach basketball.
Okay, so Most, so Most know a little something about coaching kids, and it's gonna be interesting because I'm very passionate, so I always when after a loss, I had to like take deep breaths and think about what I'm gonna say to the team after a loss. So it's gonna be very informative and very interesting to talk about these topics. So catch us Wednesday night at 7:30 Central Time. Thank y'all guys for joining us.
Great job, fellas. Great job.
Awesome show. Flowers, heal up, man. Rest up. If you can't make it Wednesday, we'll see you next week. Man. All right, guys. Y'all take it easy. Have a good night. We out of here.
Peace, y'all.